So in the previous class, we were looking at secondary glomerulonephritis, and specifically we were talking about diabetic nephropathy. Now in diabetic nephropathy, I told you one of the most common pathological change that occurs is diabetic glomerulosclerosis, wherein there will be sclerosing kind of damage to your glomeruli. There will be diffuse glomerulosclerosis, or sometimes nodular glomerulosclerosis can also occur, wherein exudative changes will occur. Hyaline droplets can be seen inside your the person's glomeruli, and sometimes even you will see fibrin being accumulated in that area, wherein it will make fibrin caps. Now, coming to the other pathological changes, there are three more changes that will occur because of diabetic nephropathy. First one are vascular lesions. Vascular lesions essentially are occurring in your efferent and afferent arterioles, which are supplying blood to your kidney and taking blood away from your kidney. Now, यहाँ पर क्या होता है? You will start seeing arteriosclerosis. So, hyaline arteriosclerosis will specifically be seen in the afferent and efferent types of your blood vessels, ठीक है, of the kidneys. That is the vascular lesion. Hyaline arteriosclerosis of efferent and afferent blood vessels, arterioles. Okay. Then, other than vascular lesions, sometimes you will see pyelonephritis. So there is something called diabetic pyelonephritis. इसमें क्या होता? Now obviously the patient is whoever has diabetes, they are susceptible to bacterial infection because they have so much amount of bacteria they have so much amount of glucose present in their blood. It is very easy for bacteria to grow. ठीक है, and especially if they have a urinary infection kind of thing, तो pyelonephritis होना बहुत common है. Generally what will happen is when these diabetic patients have pyelonephritis, they will develop papillary necrosis. The papillae of their kidney, they will be necrotic damage in that area. That is one of the main complications and one of the most important complications of diabetes. Diabetic patients who have diabetic nephropathy, उनके अंदर papillary necrosis होना बहुत common है, which may result in acute pyelonephritis. ठीक है. And in general, chronic pyelonephritis is almost 10 to 20 times more common in diabetic patients than normal patients. So prolonged pyelonephritis is more common in patients who have diabetes than in normal patients. Then the third type of lesion that will occur are tubular lesions. These are also called Armani-Epstein lesions. Armani-Epstein lesions. Now, इसमें क्या होता? um, when the patient has untreated diabetes, ठीक है, let us suppose they have extremely high blood sugar level. This high blood sugar level, glucose essentially will start getting accumulated, specifically in the epithelial cells and the PCT. ठीक है, the PCT के आपके जो epithelial cells रहते हैं, proximal convoluted tubule के, वहाँ पर you will start seeing glycogen deposits. So a lot of glucose will come together and will start making glycogen. You will start seeing glycogen deposits on the PCT of that patient who is suffering from diabetic nephropathy, especially those who are not able to control their are not able to control their sugar levels. ठीक है, and these glycogen deposits will occur as vacuoles. ठीक है, छोटे छोटे vacuoles filled with, there will be small vacuoles like this, and these vacuoles will be filled up with those glycogen molecules. Okay, these lesions that will occur on the PCT are called Armani-Epstein lesions. Okay, those were the three other type of lesions that occur in glomerulonephritis, and with that we have completed glomerulonephritis. So secondary glomerulonephritis, which is caused in diabetic nephropathy, you see four different types of pathological changes or pathological lesions. One is diabetic glomerulosclerosis, vascular lesions, diabetic pyelonephritis, and you also see tubular lesions. Okay, also called Armani-Epstein lesions. Now, coming to pyelonephritis, the next topic that you have is pyelonephritis. A few small topics. We have pyelonephritis. We'll also try to finish calculate today. ठीक है? Pyelonephritis is essentially infection. ठीक है. Specifically if we talk about acute pyelonephritis, you have both acute and chronic type of pyelonephritis. Acute pyelonephritis is a suppurative inflammation in the sense that pus forming inflammation hota in the kidney, and this is because of a pyogenic bacteria. There is a bacteria that has the capability of causing making pus. Okay, and because it is causing inflammation, there will be suppuration. Okay, abscesses will be formed, pus will be formed, all of that will occur. Now, in acute pyelonephritis, you will see that the most common organisms will be those that can cause urinary tract infections. ठीक है, lower urinary tract infections जो भी cause करते, all of those can cause acute pyelonephritis. So, E. coli, Enterobacter, Klebsiella, Pseudomonas, Proteus, these are all common species of bacteria that have the capability of causing acute pyelonephritis. All right, generally what happens is the bacteria will gain entry through urinary tract, and from urinary tract they will go into the kidney. Okay, sometimes through ascending route wherein they are directly going up, in the sense that they are entering a urinary tract से urethra को जा रहा है, urethra से आपके ureters में जाके they are reaching your kidney. That is one way. They are ascending essentially up. Or sometimes what can happen is from the lower urinary tract they will enter a blood vessel. Okay, and they are able to cause a hematogenous infection. So from that blood vessel they will travel around, they will reach the kidney, and inside the kidney they are causing infection. Okay, so acute pyelonephritis is starting with a lower UTI. The patient is having a lower UTI, वहां से it is reaching the kidney. ठीक है, it can reach the kidney in two ways. एक तो ascending way में, wherein the bacteria is directly ascending up, ठीक है, lower to upper urinary tract, or second way is through hematogenous route. ठीक है, it is the bacteria is entering some blood vessel, some small arteriole, and from there it is, you know, roaming around here and there, and finally reaching a kidney where it is again causing infection in your kidney. Now, the pathological changes that you see with respect to acute pyelonephritis, especially in well-developed cases where it has progressed quite a bit, you will see that the patient's kidney will become swollen. Okay, the kidney will swell, it will become enlarged, and if you cut open this kidney, you will see that it has a lot of abscesses. Okay, because it is a suppurative kind of inflammation. Suppuration essentially is a process in which abscess formation is occurring. So whenever you cut open the kidney of that person who has this acute pyelonephritis, you will see yellowish white abscesses. ठीक है, yellowish white color abscesses देखते, and on the rim you will see hemorrhage. So you will see hemorrhagic rim of that kidney. So जो kidney की rim रहती, जो outer edge रहता, वहां पर you will be able to see hemorrhage. If you cut open the kidney, you'll be able to see hemorrhage around here. ठीक है, जहां जहां abscess हो रहा, so for example there is an abscess here, this abscess will have a hemorrhagic rim. इसका border will be hemorrhagic, and in between you will see that yellowish white color abscess, that yellowish white color material. ठीक है, microscopically if you see closely you will see a lot of inflammation occurring, extensive inflammation occurring, especially involving the interstitium, and there will be destruction of the tubules. The tubules of your nephrons, they will be destroyed, and interstitial damage will occur, interstitial inflammation will occur. Okay, those are all the changes and those are all the effects that you see in acute pyelonephritis. Now, in case that pyelonephritis has been going on for a long period of time, that is when it is categorized as chronic. Some patients have chronic pyelonephritis, wherein it is a tubular interstitial disease. Okay, it will involve both the interstitium and the tubules, and it will be a chronic kind of inflammation, wherein what will happen is the patient will have repeated attacks of inflammation, and because of these repeated attacks of inflammation, there will be scar formation. ठीक है, now you've already learned about wound healing. Once if a wound occurs, your body is able to regenerate back. अगर बार बार वहीं पर wound होते जा रहा, let's suppose there is injury occurring in the same place again and again, you will see that your body is responding by making a scar. ठीक है, there will be repair rather than regeneration. The same thing will happen in your kidneys. There will be scar formation. Now, if we talk about the cause of chronic pyelonephritis, there are two main causes. Okay, depending on the etiology and pathogenesis, there are two categories of chronic pyelonephritis. One is reflux nephropathy. Okay, the other is obstructive pyelonephritis. Okay. Now, what is the difference? Reflux nephropathy refers to reflux of urine. So, whenever the person is urinating, whenever they are in the process of maturation, what will happen is urine will reflux into the bladder. So, essentially, the sphincter of your bladder is not working properly, and what will happen is urine will start refluxing back from the bladder into one or both of the ureters. And what will happen? This is happening during urination, and this can lead to this urine refluxing back into the kidney itself. So what is happening is whenever the person is urinating from their urinary bladder, the urine is refluxing back, it is going up. Essentially, instead of coming down, it is going up into one or both of the ureters. It will be really uncomfortable, and that can cause repeated bouts of these reflux of urine can cause reflux nephropathy, wherein it is damaging the kidneys and the tubules. ठीक है, collecting duct में damage होता है, then your nephrons will get damaged, ultimately your kidneys are getting damaged. Sometimes it can be an obstruction. So obstructive pyelonephritis can be of various reasons. अब calculi आ गया या whatever happened, there is a severe amount of inflammation, or whatever the reason is, there is an obstruction to the outflow of urine. Urine is not able to flow out properly. Because of that, what will happen is there is an area where bacteria can grow nicely. Okay, whenever there is an obstruction to the flow of urine, that obstruction will become the site of infection. ठीक है, that will predispose the kidney to infection as well. अगर कहीं जहां भी blockage हो रहा, let us suppose it is at the level of kidney, or it is at the level of the ureter, or it is at the level of the urinary bladder, any which way where this blockage is occurring, it can be grounds where infection can occur, where bacteria can grow, and wherever bacteria can grow, it can go up, and again it will cause problems to your kidneys. Now, the pathological changes that you see in case of either reflux nephropathy or obstructive nephritis is that kidneys will get damaged to such an extent that kidneys will become specifically small. Okay? In chronic pyelonephritis, kidneys become small. They will contract essentially. You will see small contracted kidneys, and they'll weigh less than 100 grams. They'll become very, very small in size, and there might be unequal reduction in the sense that one kidney will reduce in size more than the other. So, and also on the surface of the kidney, you will see scarring. Irregular scarring might occur, okay, on the surface of the kidney. Now, microscopically, if you look inside the kidney itself, you will see prominent changes in the interstitium and tubule. There will be a lot of inflammatory damage in the interstitium. Sometimes you will also see a lot of lymphocytes, plasma cells, macrophages, pura inflammatory reaction aura. And because of this inflammatory reaction, what happens is a lot of inflammatory cells will invade into the kidney. As this invasion is occurring, you will see fibrosis. ठीक है, as inflammation keeps going on, fibrin starts getting involved. Scarring हो रहा बोले तो fibrosis involve हो रहा. You will see interstitial fibrosis. Along with that, so chronic में दो main problem हो रहे, एक तो interstitium में हो रहा, and एक हो रहा tubules में, tubular damage. Essentially what will happen the tubules is there will be atrophy. There will be atrophy of the tubules, and sometimes the tubules will dilate as well because of the damage. They are not able to maintain their shape. Okay. Clinical features of this type of what do you call chronic pyelonephritis will be the patient might have hypertension. There will be chronic renal failure. Okay. These patients will generally develop chronic renal failure. Okay. Their kidneys will not work properly. Sometimes there will be hypertension, so with or without. with or without hypertension. Okay, sometimes patient may present with fever because it is an infection. There will be fever, there will be loin pain, so they might have lumbar tenderness, uh, or dysuria. They'll have difficulty in urinating. They might have pyuria. Second, I'll write those down. So along with chronic renal failure and hypertension is not necessary, सब में नहीं होता, ठीक है. Hypertension is essentially occurring because your kidney is not able to filter wastes out properly. Whenever there is so much amount of kidney damage, obviously hypertension will occur because uh, you know kidney is not filtering waste properly. That waste is getting accumulated inside your urine. Along with that, the urine amount is also getting decreased, because of which blood volume will increase. All of that can lead to hypertension, not always, but it can happen. So chronic renal failure with or without hypertension. Other than that, sometimes patients might have fever. Some patients have loin pain. There will be lumbar tenderness, dysuria. Dysuria is when they have a lot of difficulty in urinating. Then some patients will have pyuria. Pyuria is when you will find pus in their urine. Okay? And frequency of micturition increases. This is a very classic sign of pyelonephritis. Frequency of micturition. This is also a sign of urinary tract infection. Whenever a patient has urinary tract infection, उनके अंदर loin pain, fever, lumbar tenderness, and frequency of micturition generally increases. They will urinate again and again. ठीक है? There is another third type of pyelonephritis that occurs in certain patients, which is called tuberculous pyelonephritis. So, other than acute and chronic, some patients might have tuberculous pyelonephritis. Now, this is a complication of tuberculosis. The patient is already having tuberculosis, and through hematogenous route from blood, what happens is these mycobacterium are traveling through the blood to the kidneys, and they are causing infection. Okay, you will see lesions occurring bilaterally. Both the kidneys are affected, and generally, what will happen is medulla. Inside the medulla, a lot of papillae can be seen, and specifically those papillae, you will see caseous tissue. ठीक है, जो cheese like tissue can be seen in tuberculosis, वो same tissue will be seen in tuberculous pyelonephritis. ठीक है, there might be a lot of granulomatous reaction occurring, a lot of granules invading in that area. You might be able to see acid fast bacilli in that area. Okay, because of so much damage to the kidney, you will also see acid fast bacilli coming and invading in that area. And this is demonstrated in the lesions. Inside the lesions that are occurring in the kidney which has tuberculous pyelonephritis, uske andar you'll be able to see acid fast bacilli. So those are the three types of pyelonephritis. If you have doubts, if you want me to ask anything, please feel free to ask. You can stop me anytime. I hope, see, I'm going at this pace thinking that you understood glomerulonephritis, you understood the whole thing. If you did not understand anything, stop me. Okay, if you're not asking doubts, I will assume that you are understanding. Now, coming to calculi. See, अब मैं calculi जैसा पढ़ा रहा हूँ. You can even ask previous doubts as well. If you, let's suppose you didn't understand lupus nephritis, or you didn't understand glomerulonephritis or pancreatic tumor, पिछले भी पूछ सकते. ठीक है, I'm expecting that you are reading. I hope that you are reading, and as you read, you might get doubts. तो आप previous classes के भी doubts पूछ सकते. No one is stopping you. Okay, coming to calculi. See, calculi are essentially stones. Okay. Uh, Now, specifically, if they are occurring in your urinary tract or in your kidney, these are called nephrolithiasis. Okay, stone formation in kidney or stone formation specifically your kidney में हो रहा था, nephrolithiasis होता, but it can be elsewhere in your urinary tract as well. Okay, there are four main types of calculi that can be seen in this urinary tract. Okay, first and the most common one will be calcium stones. Almost 75% of all urinary calculi, 75% of any urinary calculi will be calcium stone. Now the calcium stone itself can be of three types. Okay, so let us suppose I have 100 patients who have urinary calculi. 75% of them, so 75 patients will have calcium stones. Now out of that 75, 50% will have 50% have calcium oxalate stones. Okay, so out of this, let us suppose about 37 people have calcium oxalate stones. 45% will have mixed stones. 45% have calcium oxalate plus calcium phosphate, and 5% of patients will have only calcium phosphate. ठीक है. So अगर मैं 100 पेशेंट्स लिया, 100 पेशेंट्स में से 75 100 पेशेंट्स ऑफ कैलकुलाई, ओके, यूरिनरी कैलकुलाई 100 पेशेंट्स को है समझो. Out of that 100 patients, there is a very good chance that at least 75 of them will have calcium stones. Now, supposing that 75 number is 100% now, let us suppose this is 100%, 100% of patients who have calcium stones. उसमें से 50% will have calcium oxalate type of stones, 45% will have calcium oxalate plus calcium phosphate mixed stones, and 5% will have only calcium phosphate stones. Okay? Now the cause of this, sometimes it can be idiopathic. There is no cause, or unknown cause, rather than no cause. There is unknown cause, or sometimes there might be hypercalciuria, extreme amount of excretion of calcium. Okay, excessive calcium excretion in urine with or without hypercalcemia. So there can be increased amount of calcium excretion with increased amount of calcium in blood, or without increased amount of calcium in blood. Both can occur. So the cause can be hypercalciuria, hypercalciuria with or without hypercalcemia. ठीक है. Difference between them is, एक में calcium is present, extra amount of calcium is present in urine, that is hypercalciuria. Excessive amount of calcium in blood is hypercalcemia. ठीक है. Sometimes it can be this, or sometimes it can be idiopathic, unknown cause. ठीक है. Then second type of stone, now generally these stones, calcium stones जो है, they'll be very small. ठीक है, less than 1 centimeter small. They'll be about ovoid, so oval like. ठीक है, ovoid stones, oval and spherical kind of stones, and they'll be very hard. They have a granular surface, and generally they'll be dark brown in color. This dark brown color is because ये hard stones है ना, they can damage the walls of your urinary tract, and as they are damaging the walls of your urinary tract, blood stains will come on these calcium stones. Repeated damage can cause blood pigment to get deposited on these stones, and because of that repeated trauma की वजह से these stones will become dark brown in color. They generally have sharp edges. ये तो वो edges की वजह से what will happen is they can damage the urinary tract, causing bleeding and trauma, and ultimately that pigment of blood will get deposited on the calcium stone, because of which you'll get the dark brown color. Then the second type of stone will be called struvite. Second type of stone is struvite. Okay. These are also called mixed stones. This is specifically because these are made up of a special type of material. Struvite struvite is another name for magnesium ammonium phosphate. Magnesium ammonium phosphate. ठीक है, इसको बोलते हैं struvite. So these stones are essentially made up of a special type of material. About 15% of cases of urinary calculi. So I told you, right, out of 100 patients, 75 will have calcium ones, calcium calculi. 15 people might have struvite stones. ठीक है, 15% patients. ठीक है. Uh, because these are also called struvite stones, these can also be called triple phosphate stones. This material is also called triple phosphate. ठीक है, मैग्नीशियम अमोनियम फॉस्फेट को ट्रिपल फॉस्फेट भी बोलते हैं। तो मिक्स स्टोन्स या स्ट्रूवाइट स्टोन्स या ट्रिपल फॉस्फेट स्टोन्स, ऑल ऑफ देम रेफर टू द सेम थिंग। नाउ जनरली द कॉज ऑफ दिस इज यूरिनरी इन्फेक्शन। ठीक है, जनरली इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ अ ऑर्गेनिज्म दैट कैन स्प्लिट यूरिया। ठीक है, यूरिया स्प्लिटिंग ऑर्गेनिज्म। Some organisms have the capability of releasing splitting organisms. ठीक है, like Proteus. Proteus is able to secrete an enzyme that can break urea. It will split urea apart. And as it is splitting, what will happen is it will make a compound called magnesium ammonium phosphate that will essentially make your struvite. These stones are gray to yellowish white in color. ठीक है, they tend to be soft and friable. They'll crumble very easily. Friable का मतलब यह है कि they are very easily crumbled. ठीक है, they'll be soft and friable, and they'll generally be irregular in shape. They'll not cause damage, ठीक है, to your urinary wall, because these themselves are so friable. If there's a lot of pressure and they are hammering against your urinary walls, any part of your urinary tract, they themselves will break down rather than damaging your urinary wall. Then the third type of stone will be uric acid stones. These will occur in 6% of cases. 6% of cases में 6% of urinary calculi are made up of uric acid. ठीक है, the cause is generally hyperuricosuria, excessive amount of uric acid in urine with or without hyperuricemia. ठीक है, so generally these are seen in patients who have gout, primary या secondary gout जो रहता उनके अंदर होता है। So this will occur in patients who have hyperuricosuria with or without hyperuricemia. ठीक है, now hyperuricemia itself will occur in patients who have gout, primary gout रहने दो या secondary gout रहने दो, उनके अंदर होता। ठीक है, excessive amount of uric acid is being produced in their body and that is entering into their blood, and whenever that excess is present, it is also being thrown out. That uric acid which is being thrown out into your kidneys or into your urine is causing these uric acid stones to be formed. These stones are smooth yellowish brown in color and they are hard. Okay, sometimes these will occur in multiples rather than occurring in solitary. You will see several small stones occurring. If you cut open these stones, you will see laminated structure. Okay, you will see different layers inside the stone, right? So these stones are smooth yellowish brown, uh, they are hard, and they are multiple in number. Okay, if you cut open these stones, you will see a laminated structure, layered structure. Then the fourth type of calculi will be cystine stones. So cystine stones जो है, sorry, cystine stones, cystine is a different thing. Cystine stones is occurring when cystine, which is an amino acid present in your body, उसका metabolism बराबर नहीं हो रहा. When excessive amount of cystine is either being excreted out of the body or there is metabolic disorder wherein cystine is not able to be, it is not transported properly, it is not metabolized properly. That is when you see cystine coming into the urine in excessive quantity, and this is essentially a genetic disorder, and this will occur in 2% of cases. In 2% of patients who have urinary calculi, unke andar you will see cystine stones. These stones are very small, smooth and rounded. Okay, often they will occur in multiples. So multiple small stones you'll see, yellowish in color, yellowish and waxy. They'll be smooth, very smooth, wax-like. Okay. Then finally, we'll have the fifth type of stones, with our other stones. Other stones will mainly account for xanthine stones. Okay. Xanthine stones are occurring because of improper metabolism of xanthine. ठीक है, xanthine is a product inside your body जो अगर accumulate हुआ and if it is not being metabolized properly, it will cause xanthine uria. ठीक है, xanthine urea, because xanthine is getting accumulated in your body, it's not being metabolized properly. Xanthine stones will be formed, and those stones will account for 2% of urinary calculi. There will also be 2% of cases who have xanthine stones. Those are the other stones. So those are the total 5 types of calculi that you can see in patients who have urinary calculi. Calcium stones, most common. Mixed stones, that is true white stones. Uric acid stones, cystine stones, and xanthine stones, which are the other calculi. Okay. So in the next class, we'll discuss about renal failure. Renal failure will possibly even start renal carcinoma.